Welcome to Keeping It Real Talk Show. Your host, Tim Williams. Let's go into the show. Hi, I'm Timothy Williams. I'm your host for Keeping It Real Talk Show. And I'm glad you tuned in to the show on today. I have a special guest. I'm at the home of a young man that was classified as a sex offender for about 14 years now. And today I'm going to talk with him, and he's going to share his story about how he caught the case of being a sex offender. Now let's go into the show. Hi, David. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good.
That's great. I'm glad you allowed us to come into your home and be able to talk with you about your, situation. So how's it been?
Well, it's been kind of hectic for me, and dealing with some bad stuff that I've been dealing with for 14 years now, registered as a sex offender.
Right. So I noticed when you moved into the area, they put up signs and they was going out and letting people know that you're in the neighborhood. How did that feel? Because every time you go somewhere, you have to always have, the sheriff and everybody else puts up posters, and if they don't want you there, what is it like?
I know they're just doing their job and stuff like that, but it makes me feel like I'm an outcast to everybody, and society don't accept me, because I can remember when I was a good outstanding, going
citizen,
to school, outstanding citizen, going to school, trying to make something out of myself. I drove, I just try to be a good outstanding citizen and abide by all laws and everything, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of stuff that I'm dealing with, but by the grace of God, I'm able to, go on with my life. And I come to find out that, people just don't, they just don't accept me for who I am. And a sex offender is what I'm not.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So when people see you, do they say, "Oh, here come this, sex offender"? Or
yeah, they kind of treat me like an animal or something like that. They just look at me like, "Oh, he ain't nothing. Oh, girl, you better keep you better keep your children away from me. He a sex offender and all this kind of stuff." And I ain't never hurt nobody or nobody's child, and I would never hurt anybody's child.
Right.
Nobody.
Definitely. So how did you catch your charge? What was it? I know I did the research and I saw some things in the paper. Mm-hmm. It stated that it was a little boy, I believe it was like a little 5-year-old.
No, it was a 2-year-old boy that my 2-year-old boy that my sister accused me of touching him inappropriately and stuff, and so the same my sister. I take her to a doctor's appointments and everything, clean up our house and stuff like that, and I'm just I didn't know this was gonna happen to me. My mama said I shouldn't have never been out there in the first place, but how was I supposed to know she was gonna plot against me like this, her and her mama?
Right. So was this your biological sister, or your real sister?
Well, that's my daddy's daughter. That's
okay.
My daddy's daughter. My mama only had 4 boys, but my daddy had one girl outside of
marriage. Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. So when you said she plotted against you, what do you mean by?
Well, what I mean by that is like they would leave. Okay, she said her and the mama said they was going shopping to the grocery store, and they'd be right back and stuff, and leaving all her kids at the apartment and everything, and come to find out one day went on to 2 days and 3 days and 4 days, and them children was asking what their mama and daddy what their mama was.
So your sister would leave you with the kids for days,
right,
and would never return home.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So that tells me she had confidence in you.
Right.
She trusted you with her kids.
Right.
Now, what was some more of the ages of the kids that were there with you?
Well, I know it had to be about five kids from different daddies.
What was the age range of the
The
kids?
age range at that time it was around about two. I can't remember. I really can't. About 2, 3, or 4, or something like that.
Okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much all of them was toddlers.
Yeah.
So did she ever accuse you of touching any other kids?
No.
Of the other kids? Right?
No. No.
It was just that little boy.
Mm-hmm.
So when the little boy was questioned, did the little boy say that you touched him?
Well, that little boy was being coached into what to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, by his grandmother and by his mama. You know what I'm saying? He was only 2 years old. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, he when he was being interviewed, the little child was being interviewed. You can hear her his grandmama and his mama telling him, yeah, he just tell him you touch right here. And the little boy, when he was being interviewed, he was touching on his shirt and on the side of his pants, never in his privates or anything like that, never. So it's crazy.
Right.
It's real crazy.
So how are you coping with this? I mean, having to deal with the public, your name being put on a billboard, a scandalization, they've got you posted everywhere, your pictures online.
Yeah.
And you're registered as a sex offender, and it's in the public of the eyes that, hey, you're a sex offender. So how are you coping with all of this, knowing, like you were saying here today, that you never touched the boy inappropriately?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You was just there as an uncle figure
Right.
to him and
Right.
and doing what an uncle's supposed to do. But, I mean, how do it make you feel?
It made me feel bad. It made me seem like the whole world is against me only because of a lie, in which it was a lie. You know what I'm saying? It makes me feel like I'm nobody. It makes me feel like scum. You know what I'm saying? It feels like nobody don't want to be bothered with me. It's done affected my life, my relationship with women. It's done affected affected some of my family. Some of my family.
So when you say it affects your life with women, so you had a lot of women's, huh?
Well, just a few.
So they're scared to be around you,
right,
associate with you, because you got this stigma on you now that, hey, you're a sex offender,
right.
and they can't really trust you because they're afraid that, hey, you may touch their kids. So when you're in a relationship with a woman and she have kids, how did that make them feel, knowing that you are registered as a sex offender? But do you ever tell the women that you're a sex offender, registered as a sex offender?
I try to explain it the best way I can. To them, but they fail to realize. That that they don't only believe, you have to see and hear it for yourself before you pass judgment on anybody.
So let me ask you this. I like you to see it. You got to see it and know it. But let me ask you this: would you ever touch a little child?
No, never.
Never.
Mm-hmm.
So have you ever had any kids in your presence around you?
Plenty of them. They treat me just like I want to be treated. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I try to help every one of them. I try to help whoever I can. You know what I'm saying? I playing with. Doing stuff to kids and stuff. That's crazy.
Right.
That's crazy.
Definitely. So you never thought of touching a child?
No.
Never crossed your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Never fantasized or anything.
No,
I'm just talking. You
no.
know. Never.
No.
As long as you been around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
None of that stuff have ever crossed.
None of that stuff have ever crossed my mind. Never.
So let me ask you this: why would your sister want to do something like this to degrade you and to hurt you?
Because for number one, she was jealous. She was jealous of all of my brothers and everything. You know what I'm saying?
So when you say jealous of
because my daddy was spending more time with us, and and when she asked him to do something, Daddy wouldn't go to her aid and stuff like that. So I guess she got tired of him treating her like that.
Because she was an outside child.
Yeah.
So, and you can see it because...
excuse me for cutting you off. And then my My mama used to take her to get her hair done. Used to buy her clothes and everything. And we treated her just like family, in which she, might as well say she is.
Yeah.
It's
Because she's you all's sister.
right.
Do she have any type of mental problems or anything going on with her?
She probably do pass out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably.
But do she have any known illness or?
No, I don't know, Pastor. I really couldn't tell you because, I remember she used to be on drugs real bad.
Yeah.
I can remember that. She was on drugs real bad.
So you said she was pretty much jealous of y'all family life, how your
Right.
dad interact with you all, because you was not raised in a single parent home.
No.
Your dad and mom you was always around your mom and dad.
Right.
And they've been married for quite a while. So, how do you handle when you see yourself on billboards and you see yourself on posters and you go into the grocery store and they have a thing posted up saying that you are a sex offender and it has your picture? How do you feel? And when
it hurts, Pastor. It hurts, and it hurts me to the core, and I ain't even got tears to cry with you no more because it hurts so bad.
Right.
Uh,
So let me ask you this: what are you doing to try to get yourself up out of this situation?
Well, I'm trying to, that lawyers and judges tell me it's been so been so long ago, it ain't nothing I can do about it. But I keep on telling myself that it is something I can do about it, and that's why, I'm doing everything that I possibly can to get this off my record, because it's not true. She lied, and it's all, it's got to be some kind of way I can get this off my record.
Right. So what type of blame are you taking for yourself?
The blame that I'm taking for myself is I shouldn't have. I mean, you can't be a good Samaritan to everybody. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I was, a good Samaritan, trying to. I even gave her money out of my benefits, my SSI and Social Security, to try to help her around how to get things for the house, clean it up and everything. I should have been paid for that, don't you think, Pastor?
So let me ask you this right here.
Mm-hmm.
So how are the people treating you in the neighborhood? Knowing that you just moved here recently, and I saw some of your transcripts, some of the things that paperwork that you were showing me and everything, and then I had some phone calls from different people, calling me saying, we got a sex offender close by the church, and I want to come out personally and sit down and talk with you, you know what I'm saying, and really, go over your case and look at, why were you a sex offender? Why did this happen to you? Why are you going through, what you're going through? Did you actually do what they said you did? Wanted to hear from you, wanted to know,
Right. Well, no, I mean, I would never, I'm an innocent man, just got caught up in some unfortunate circumstances.
And so how old are you now?
I'm 46.
46 years old. So let me back up a little bit here, because people want to hear from David. They want to know, David, did you really do what they say you did? Would you touch my kids? And that's the number one thing that has been coming out. They want to know, will he touch my kids? Will he do something to harm my kids? Because my kids are running around this community, and you know what I'm saying?
Told never to return, never to surrender. Car salesman.
Tonight, we sell them all!
At Elba Chevron Travel Center, breakfast is served every morning and lunch every day. If you want some good food and friendly service, come on down to Elba Chevron Travel Center, located at 990 West 203 Bypass, Elba, Alabama, 36323. Go Tigers.
So, what legal steps have you taken, David?
Well, I have wrote to the judge that sentenced me a letter to the request of preliminary hearing. He denied that. He said that in the letter that it was disposed years ago and that let no other action be taken on that case. I have tried. I got another. I got a attorney, and he helped me write a petition and everything. And he said, said that there's things that I can do to get this on my record, but you know, it's like he just want the money and stuff like that, and then don't do nothing about it. It's kind of like when you eat and stuff and you get full, you paying the attorney so much money, and he just sitting there waiting for the money to come in.
Right.
And ain't really doing nothing about it. See.
Definitely. So, are you going to continue to push this issue, or are you just going to a lot of times, a lot of people just give up. They really just.
Well, I'm gonna keep
I'm
on.
stuck. They say, well, I'm stuck. It's over with. My life has been ruined, and this is it. So.
Well, I'm gonna keep on pushing it, Pastor. I'm gonna keep on pushing, and I already know that God is able to move anything. The Bible says that let not the judge shall be. Let not the judge be unpunished.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel that way.
Right. So you feel like you've been punished?
No, I feel like I'm being punished by society, and and by the sheriff department. I do. And by people in general. That's the way I feel about it.
When you say people, what are they doing to you?
I mean, just going by what they see on a little piece of paper and stuff like that. And if they really wanted to know if if I did this, they would probably come up to me, David, did you, sit down and talk to me and see what kind of person I am before.
You like to sit down and smoke a cigarette with me?
Yeah.
And talk with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
You need to really hear it from the horse's mouth, right? Really,
I'm not calling myself a horse, but that's,
I know, right? We I know you're a horse, You're just saying out of the horse's mouth.
Freedom,
Yeah, right from his mouth. You hear him say it, that's how you get to understand the person. It's through the words. You can really understand them, and you can see where they're coming from, and you'll know if a person really did something or not.
Yeah.
Because it's just there.
Right.
You can feel it. You know what I'm saying, and after a while they'll tell on themselves.
Right.
And so. But another question I want to ask, by you moving from one city to the next, how did that affect you?
Well, I know I already said in my mind that, when they, when I moved to a certain area, the sheriff department tell me that, to pay them $10 every 3 months, and that's when I have to register every 3 months and pay them $10. And I asked them one time, why do I have to pay $10? And they say that that is a requirement for me to do. They ain't never did that before. So I said, ain't that's got something to do with my restitution? My restitution I've been paid within that whole year that I was going through there.
Mm-hmm.
So they said it's a requirement. The ABI done told me that I would have to pay $10 a month, because now they done made it the law to where every citizen have to pay $10 every time they register every 3 months.
Right. Now, in your situation, I know of another incident of a young guy that was classified as a sex offender, but he was not. He was in the same age. The girl was around his age, and he was going with a Caucasian girl. And the daddy did not like it, and so he allowed it for her, told her that if she would scream rape, that they would get him for rape. And so, make a long story short, these were teenagers going with one another. And so the court found some kind of way to classify this young man as a sex offender, because he was going with a Caucasian girl. And now for the rest of his life, he is classified as a sex offender, did not, harm anyone, but was going with the individual. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, Pastor, it's outrageous. That's all you hear about these days is people, people tell, to me, I believe they just lying and wanting to get money from people, and I kind of feel like this in that situation there. A person should be, they can go with anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But see, it's kind of like if they don't want that person going with somebody of the opposite race,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? That should be their choice.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But for a juvenile, you said it was a juvenile or something?
They were both in the same age, like 17 years of age.
Okay.
They were both teenagers.
Uh-huh.
Young adults, I would say. But let me ask you this, David.
Okay.
Have you had anybody try to do anything to you, knowing that you're a sex offender?
No,
Yeah.
I sure haven't.
They didn't try to come and throw eggs at your house or stuff like that.
No. No. I ain't never had that to happen.
Yeah, I know you have situations like that where people say, "Oh, you know what I'm saying." I mean, you'd be amazed at how crucial sometimes people can be because they be cruel to you.
But you know what gets me though?
Uh-huh.
I mean, they just sit there and they just talk a lot. They just, just talk a lot and talking about, oh, I wouldn't go over there. You see, he a sex offender. I mean, people around here,
Right.
in Elba,
Uh-huh.
they treat me with so much, respect, and they know I used to live here before, and they try to help me out the best they can, and I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Right.
I try to help everybody, but see, I have to keep my head up. I can't
Right.
hold my head down all the time, and and let it get the best of me.
Right.
Hmm.
So, what is it that you want to tell the people? Is there something that's pressing on your heart that you want to let the people know, in the surrounding areas about your situation? What is it that you want to say? I want you to look into that camera and tell them your heart.
I want y'all to understand that whatever people accuse me of doing, I would never do to a child, and you ain't got to worry about me. I'm just as laid back as any. If anybody need my help or anything, just let me know, and I would do anything to help any child, or if I see somebody messing with them or anything like that, even if it costs me my life, I would protect that child, your child, or whoever's child. You know what I'm saying? And I love them all. Thank you.
Wow. Definitely, David. I want to say thank you for allowing us, to come over and do this interview with you, take time, with you and just sit and hear your story and talk to you, you know what I'm saying? Because I heard you before you came over to the church and you explained to me, some of the things that were going on, and you told me before, years ago, I heard from you, and you told me years ago when I was in ARP, you told me, hey, I would never do a thing like this. Yeah. I was just, falsely accused, and so I wanted to help you get your story out and let people know in Elba that, you was falsely accused, and that you're a young man that want to do something, positive. And I want to tell you thank you, just for allowing us, to take up some of your time to come over here at your home and, just talk with you, because people needed to hear from David.
Okay.
And I think this interview was great, and I just want to say thank you. Once again, we'll see you next week at the same time. Be blessed.
Oh, hey! Oh, hey! Oh, hey! Oh, hey!
Hi, I'm Timothy Williams. I'm your host for Keeping It Real Talk Show. And I would like to invite you to tune in to Channel 2 every Tuesday morning at 11:30 and also every Thursday night at 8:30 for Keeping It Real Talk Show, where we have real topics and we keep it 100.